So welcome to the Laura and Benny show. Today, sorry I'm laughing because these two are gonna...
We've been trying for the last hour to get the conversation going, but...
We have Kacie and Darren, the Clarks. The Clarks, exactly! In to talk about their wedding. So we photographed your wedding day.
You did?
It was epic, so I was like, we have to get these two in to talk about it. If you've been on social media, you'll probably recognise at least a couple of the photographs off the top of the grid. But your wedding day, there was so much to it, and a couple of other things I want to talk about today, just to give people a feel of what we're going to talk about is epic first dance.
Whether to invite you,
Yeah.
Why we're giving you the time.
That's it. Epic first dance. Choreographed and everything. Oh, Darren, you were epic, Darren. Surprise as part of the speeches, which we will talk in depth. Because you were a brave man.
Very brave.
Epic photo shoot done at Mucker's House and Gardens. Probably like one of the most fun photo shoots I have ever done. Also the most terrifying photo shoot I've ever done. And then there was a couple of little hiccups in the morning. We'll go into it. A couple of little hiccups. There was a little bit of water. It was only running down the walls. It was totally fine. It was totally fine. But just an overall epic day from start to finish. And I think what made it epic though was your energy. The two of you are high energy all the time. So guys, welcome.
Thank you.
I like the way you matched. Was this discussed or?
No, we didn't realise it until we got in the car, and I was like, "Oh, Darren." He's like, "What?" And I was like, "You're in blue." And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm in blue." He's like, "So what?" I was like, "It's going to be recorded."
My voice is recorded.
Tell the truth. It's from now on when you're going out, you match. You're that couple.
She wears a dress, I gotta wear a dress.
You know you would, like, if I
Have.
So I suppose we'll start at the beginning, right? The morning. You went to different locations.
Before you get into that, I want to talk about the ball boys. These girls have been noisy enough for the last hour.
Sorry, Kacie,
so
we'll
the ball
just
boys,
wait.
the ball boys. So like you and the lads, you came down to Killarney, you kind of got your own spot. Were you there the day before? Did you go out?
We were all there the day before, yeah.
And how did that go? Did you have to kind of pull the handbrake at some stage? Because I know your lads like a bit of a party. Or did you? Were they generally well behaved?
We actually all went for dinner in Reedy's, and we just had a couple of pints. We went back for a couple of more drinks.
They actually left before we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I had said to the lads, like, you need to, because my two brothers were groomsmen. Well, Ryan was like an honorary groomsman.
Yeah.
And I had said, like, you need to get him out. Like, don't have him getting really, really drunk. Like, he can have a few.
Yeah.
And next night it got to like, it was a 9:30, and the lads told him, we're going. And I was like, what? Before the girls.
Because it's really hard. Some lad, the famous story is, I remember we were down in Tralee and one lad's like met up with his brothers, had 10 pints of Guinness, and he goes, tell the next man never do it. Like, so it's really hard. Like, if people are trying to gauge it, you can like, and you're away for the night, you could easily kind of let it carry away, and you've got a long day the next day.
Especially when I had to go home and finish off the speech. I didn't want to be too drunk.
Did you get the keyboard out?
No, because I was getting delivered the keyboard by my friend, so she wasn't there yet. But I was just in my head practicing.
Well, more about the keyboard later on. But and then before the ceremony, you had a nice thing. So you had the ceremony in the hotel.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that? You got to go for a pint beforehand. Was that good? Was that nice to meet up with people? Or were you busy chatting away? I know the lads had a pint.
I had a pint of Guinness and just meeting people, and they're like, shaking hands and whatnot, and just waiting for ourselves, basically.
Yeah. But did you enjoy like being on location, on the location of the ceremony, kind of so you could settle in, chat away with people, and it kind of eased it into the ceremony?
There was great vibes there. Like, it was just chilled, and with all the buddies and all the family, like, everyone was just happy.
Yeah, because
even though what happened in the hotel.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Go on, so
I give you the reins back there.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm kind of laughing at you though, because I don't think you realise the girls like that.
I don't know, you imagine what they get up to. Were you all hanging?
No, we were actually fine because we went from Reedy's and I still hadn't written my vows.
Okay.
So, and I
did you know this?
Probably did. I just can't remember now.
I was like, oh yeah, we write our own vows. Do you want to write vows? And he was like, what? Like, are we going to write? And I was like, oh, we'll just write like simple promises, not like, oh, I promise you the moon. That's impossible. Okay. But like simple things like, I promise to take out the bin every month. Grand. That would do it.
Sounds similar to the way we went with our vows. I promise not to knock him over when he was cycling a bike for the car. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Realistic vows, Kacie. Yeah.
I mean, for the make sure it's
Get
mine.
fluid.
That's a good promise.
We'll talk about that.
Promise of
Yeah.
It'll be grand.
I wanted to keep them simple, so I was like, yeah, this is grand. And like we planned that months in advance. And I bought little books and I was like, yeah, just write them. And he was like, what will I write? He had his done. We were leaving for Killarney on the Thursday. I didn't have mine done. And I was like, oh, I'll do it in the house. So we got back after Reedy's and I was with all my bridesmaids and we put on the Kardashians and I was sat there like this. and I never watch it, like never. But the girls had it on and I was just sat there drinking and they were like, you need to go write your vows. And I was like, I do. So like I took it out and I was like, Kacie, go upstairs. So the girls had to force me up the stairs to write my bloody vows, like.
But at least
we
you
were
had the
actually
space
grand.
for the girls the night before though to do that.
So good.
Yeah. Because you had the separate locations before you moved to the hotel. And I know when you went to the hotel, as Benny said, you went to the bar, greeted the guests, and then we had the bedroom to actually go to get dressed in. But it was good in a sense because hair and makeup came to the first location.
Yeah.
You were able to do all of that, and then you were able to like go into the hotel bridal suite.
Yeah.
But it wasn't full of chaos,
But, like,
or hadn't been used all morning.
We're lucky we did. Like our whole reasoning is that we wanted a wedding where like all our friends and family are around us, and it's like pure like friends, family, fun, and like just everyone together. You know, and like I think when you're going away from your hometown, you have that excuse to pull everyone out away for the weekend and like just have fun. So
setting up camp has a lot to say for it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Rather
exactly.
than say everybody coming from their own home in the morning.
They're distracted.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if I had been in my own home, like if we were leaving it, I would have been like, oh, let me just turn on the dishwasher, let me just like fix this and like have it clean. Whereas you can just walk in and out of an Airbnb and leave it. You know?
Yeah.
But we wanted everyone down, and I was saying we couldn't afford to like pay for 12 extra rooms.
That's
for
a lot.
nights.
That's a lot.
And we didn't want it on them because
Yeah.
they'd already paid for 2 rooms.
Yeah.
So 2 nights. So we got the Airbnbs. And then kind of coming closer, I was like, oh, am I mad to be going to the Airbnb? Should I just be getting ready in the room?
Yeah.
But my thing was that, again, you'd have more space in the Airbnb. I could go upstairs if I got like a little bit overwhelmed during the morning and just have my own breathing space. For photos and things, like the room wouldn't be messed.
Yeah.
And like, we're so lucky we did.
Yeah.
Because if we hadn't, with the hotel flooding,
there was a small issue with it. Because
Yeah.
I'll never forget, like pulling up to the car park, I literally stepped out of the car, I opened the boot, I barely put my hands on the camera, and there was 3 bridesmaids running across the car park at me, and I was like, oh God, what? Like, what is wrong? And they were like, don't tell Kacie, but the hotel is underwater. Is how you put it. And I was like, what? Sorry, what? Excuse
not a
me?
bit dramatic.
Not a bit dramatic. And they were like, what are we going to do? And I was like, well, what is the hotel saying to you? And they're like, oh, we can't get a straight answer. I was like, well, they're probably sorting it. I was like, worst case scenario, lads. We'll just have an outdoor ceremony. They have a lovely garden out the back. Either way, they're going to get married. We'll go get some photos. And sure, by the time we come back, hopefully we'll have. Because the biggest problem was power. Because it flooded so badly. The power went in, not all of the hotel, but part of the hotel, and the fear was the space that you were using in the ceremony in the kitchen area for feeding that would have been affected. But the girls were so funny, and then like upstairs, and you knew.
No, I didn't.
No, but you knew there was something up.
No, not when you came.
Did you not? Okay.
I was getting my makeup done.
Okay.
And I saw the 3 girls run out to you, and I goes, aren't they very good helping Laura?
So welcoming.
I was like, how did she not know? Why would they all be in the car park with me?
I wasn't told either.
Did you have half an inkling?
No, like you said, what did I do? I went to the pub. Well, first thing I did is I went to reception and I met Michelle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Michelle,
They had a great approach.
manager.
Megan,
sorry,
you
Megan.
quote a great
Poor
approach,
Megan.
but the hotel were having a great approach, but you had a great attitude to the effort that they were making.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were in a serious situation.
They were.
And you didn't you could have threw a strap.
But she came to me, we have an issue. I was like, oh, I was just smiling at her. She messed up. Like, yeah, so the hotel flooded, and I looked around. And I can't see any water. Reception, but then I did see all the electrical lights and all the cables, and they were running lights around the hotel. I was like, all right, so what's happening? And she said to me, I don't know if the wedding will go ahead. And I just said to her, I'm going to the bar.
Did she put it that way? Because I was like, we're going to the garden, we're going to the we can go to local restaurants, it's totally fine, lads, we'll go ahead with
I
it.
remember saying, I don't know, the wedding go ahead. I was like, I'll go to the bar, let me know when you decide.
Meanwhile, like when I found out, I texted all the groomsmen being like, don't let anyone come up to Darren. That was my fear, that I knew he was going to the bar. I was going to go straight into the hotel up to my room, so I'd be fine. But I didn't want anyone coming up because they were moving our guests from that hotel to random hotels.
Yeah, they were helping everybody out. They were very good,
in fairness, the hotel did a phenomenal job. Moving everything.
For the situation,
But I must say though that your attitude towards it, because like someone else could have just absolutely blown. Like absolutely just like, as you said, like poor Megan standing in front of you. She didn't turn a hose on.
Exactly.
And it wasn't her fault. But somebody else could have just like emotions rose. Freaked out, like you were told that potentially it may not happen today, Darren, but you were like, it's okay, it's all right. Come back to me when you know for certain, and then we'll talk.
Pretty much.
Well, my fear was come over being like, oh, I paid for this hotel and now I'm being shifted. Like you need to sort it to him.
Yes.
And I was like, whatever happens, I don't want him being bothered by this.
Because it's not up to you to manage the situation.
Exactly. And I was like, the hotel did a great job, and in fairness, my bridesmaids. Like, they blew it out of the water. But they did, in fairness, because, like, it happened, I think, about 10:30, and I walked past my mum's room. She was the first one to find out. And she was on the phone to my stepdad. So I walked past her room, and she's on the phone, and I went, you're right, she was on the phone, and she goes, no, he's looking for a shirt.
Okay.
And meanwhile, she's like, oh my God, Kacie just went past. I don't think she knows. It's like, for God's sake. So I thought nothing, and then she went down and kind of like pulled the girls like without me knowing, saying this is what happened. Then I went back upstairs and the Bluetooth speaker was on. Now I'm lucky because I had said to Claire Keogh, I'd given all of the suppliers Claire's number and been like, deal with my bridesmaid. I don't want to phone for the day because I knew if I got my phone, you'd be on Instagram, you'd be on Facebook.
It's hard to put it down.
And I'm a phone addict, like, so I was like, this isn't happening. So
she loves good TikTok, this Kacie.
She loves
good TikTok.
So I gave everyone her number, but like they still tended to just pick up the phone and ring me. So I just gave her my phone and I was like, just deal with that for the day.
At least you did.
Again, lucky I did, because the hotel rang my phone when I was upstairs and it was on the speaker on Bluetooth. And she was like, hi Kacie, this is Megan from the hotel. Listen, I have some bad news.
Did you hear that?
No.
Okay.
They were afraid I did. And like Marie, I could hear Marie shouting, but I didn't know what she was doing. And she was shouting at Claire, it's on Bluetooth! And Claire was like running out of the house being like, it's on Kacie!
And I literally arrived to this.
It
was very funny.
But while you mentioned the TikTok, because TikTok, we always talk about the next generation, and you're kind of a hint of the next generation coming through of.
They are the next generation.
We won't put you all on the TikTok just yet, like doing live group chats on TikTok. But you allocated a bit of time to have a bit of fun. Didn't you? And what was it you did in the end?
We did the
before and after getting changed.
Before and after. But we were so bad at that. We had one with the jump, the bibbidi bobbidi boo. And Laura was there trying, and she was like, okay, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, and it was like boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Joe was like, you got 2 more goals, girls, and we're going to the wedding.
At that stage, then I was like, let's just find another side.
But it was a great distraction because while we were doing TikToks, the hotel was flooded.
But it is a nice ice break, isn't it? Like to do something like that once you don't like get bogged down for half an hour trying to do a routine.
That's it. That was my fear.
We had loads of time because it was nice. We got the hair and makeup done, put everything in the cars, drove up to the hotel, as you said, went into a nice clean bridal suite. So we were able to get ready, and it was just fun, like the whole morning.
So I planned everything in the morning to be done early because I wanted that time where I could sit back with a Prosecco in hand, just relaxing. Like I had my music planned, I had everything, and I was like, I just wanted to be able to take it in. Because I've been like bridesmaid for a couple of people, and the morning always flies, and it's the best part.
Forget about the vows. That half an hour before.
Our morning together was lovely.
So good.
I was buying your time. Was that the best part of the day?
Cherished it.
When the lads stood in a circle and all helped each other get ready. Was that the best half hour?
Just want to go back.
But your morning was really fun though, and like you genuinely were on cloud nine, and it was great. Like as you said, you put the phone away, you had a bit of fun, got dressed. Like I don't think I've ever seen a bride get dressed. Like you were like dancing around the place, and your poor bridesmaids were like,
but you know
trying to get to the buttons.
You know why? funny because when I didn't know this flood was happening, they were trying to distract me, and there was 4 bridesmaids, and they did a brilliant job of distracting me because while Claire was out trying to sort out rooms and who to move and whatnot, you were there trying to distract me as well, and then Meg was just refilling my flipping cup all morning. I remember it being like 11:45 and I just picked up a glass of water and I was like, I just need to drink this. I was floating. I was like, okay, we need to calm down.
To stop. We're going to have to give out to Meg over that.
But she was like, I know what to do. Oh, I was very locked.
That's why she only likes the morning. She doesn't remember the rest of the day. Yeah.
My fault. I was like, I'll just have like 1 or 2. But because everything was going on, they were trying to be like, oh, we need her a bit tipsy when we break this news. They just kept refilling it because I would be a very like organised person.
Okay.
If things don't go to plan, I do kind of freak out, don't I? Like,
kinda.
Yeah.
I didn't get that impression when you were told the hotel was flooding and you were just like, it's fine.
I think
It's
I asked
totally
you. I think
fine.
I asked you or Claire. I was like, will Darren be there? Can I still get married?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah.
I was like, you can get married in the garden if you need to, Kacie.
Yeah.
It's totally
Car park.
fine. Like, I will move the chairs outside if no one else is willing. It's totally fine. I will do the ceremony if needed, and we'll bring you to the registry office
I don't think I
afterwards.
could afford it.
But I remember
it
like
went on way too long.
being so calm, and I remember the girls were like really afraid to tell me, and I remember hearing you say, you need to tell her, and I said to them, I was like, you need to tell me because I can deal with it when I know.
Yeah.
And then when they told me, I remember they were all like holding me. I was like, lads, I'm fine. Like I can still
You
get
did really
married.
well,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
did.
yeah,
You did.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I suppose in the moment though, because everything's really emotional, you don't know how you're going to take
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But before we go away, and we won't talk much more about the flooding because the hotel flooded, but the wedding went ahead and it was totally fine.
Yeah.
But you were supposed to get married was May 14th,
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
And then you moved it like 366 days? 64
Sure.
days? 364 days to try and keep it around the
We
same?
wanted it on a Friday.
Yeah, and then it fell on Friday the 13th.
Perfect. Yeah. Nothing went wrong.
Because I remember when the girls came out to me and they were going on about the flooding, and like the first thing that came to my mind going, today's Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
I'm
well-
not superstitious. This is weird.
No,
Yeah, Friday the 13th is good luck because what happened was
It's good
there
luck.
was
Yeah.
100%
Okay.
you can think of how it happened, right?
Okay.
So A, we didn't get married in the hotel, which I was kind of contemplating doing.
Yeah.
B, what happened was there was an electrician or something finishing work in the hotel.
Oh, the council had a meeting there.
No, the electrician first spotted the leak.
How do you know this?
Because this
They told
we
us.
found out
Right,
after.
yeah.
But the electrician spotted the leak first, so he reported to the hotel. There happened to be the Kerry County Council having a meeting in the hotel that morning, so they were able to get like contractors in like that.
Brilliant.
If it had happened any other day, he wasn't there, didn't spot it, it
Yeah.
could have been 10 times worse.
Don't get married on a
They hadn't
Saturday.
been there, exactly.
Council won't be there.
Friday.
Yeah. So like, as well, actually,
It
yeah.
happened.
Especially consider it all.
Yeah, it couldn't have happened better.
Yeah.
So like, it was lucky we got married on Friday the 13th.
Okay, I like it. Like, lads, your positive twist on things is endless. It's just endless. I need to hear about it more.
Maybe we didn't get married the year we were meant to, there might have been
One
a
flood.
That's actually true. And they could have happened. It probably rained that day. or
But if we got
something.
married
Yeah.
on the Saturday and this had happened the Friday, they probably would have cancelled the wedding.
That's true, actually, because
Whereas it was
there wasn't
already
enough
ahead.
notice to pull it.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough
Yeah,
notice.
yeah, everybody was there, yeah.
Kacie, I like your thinking.
Always go for
Yes.
Friday the 13th.
Bit of positivity. I
Right,
love
right,
it. I love it.
right.
But yeah, and then the morning, because you gave yourself loads of time. I remember like your dad and your brothers coming up to like see you in the dress and stuff, and that was
Yeah.
really, really nice because they reacted lovely. They
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed it. And you had some gifts for them and bits
Yeah.
and pieces. I'm remembering that right, aren't I?
You were,
Yeah.
I had a watch for my dad.
Yeah.
But what I remember from that moment is like I had my 2 brothers come in first and then my dad, and like my 2 brothers, one was groomsman, one was like an honorary groomsman.
Yeah.
So I wanted the 2 of them to come up and see me as well. And I didn't want Lee, the groomsman, to be left out and be at the all with him. With him,
Yeah.
and then me come down and him have missed that moment. So I brought the 3 of them up. But when they came in, I spotted my dad had his buttonhole on, and I had the buttonhole, and I was like, put that on him. I was meant to put his one on, but then I spotted
Ruined! Taylor's were cancelled away!
That was funny, but the flower's wrong. This is off.
Never mind the flood. My dad's wearing a flower. I'm out.
But I was like, I wanted that photo of me putting it on him. So then I was
Okay.
like, alright, Ryan doesn't have one, so I'll put his one on him. But then it wasn't until we got the sample album that I spotted that Benny had gotten a photo of Darren putting it on my dad, and I was like,
Oh, that was good crack, yeah.
I love it. I loved it. That actually meant more that like my dad and Darren had
Bit of an
that
interaction,
to themselves.
Sorry.
Stealing her thunder.
No, because I had given the buttonhole to you to give to Ryan, because Ryan went over with the groomsmen in the morning as well, and so did my brother-in-law. But obviously it got lost in communication. But then I love that, because that's the joy of having two photographers, because if we'd only had one, you would have been with me, I never would have known that moment. I would have been like, who gave him the buttonhole?
Secretly texting you, they're going, how wet is it where you are? Right over here.
You knew exactly what was going on because he was able to relay it. And even when like I was ready to go down, you were trying to pull me back because people were still getting changed, and you were texting Benny being like, she's going to walk out this door.
I was like almost having to stand on your train, Kacie, to pull you back, because you were just bouncing out that door. You were getting married.
So that's because I'm always late, and I had said to him, I'm going to be on time. I'm going to be back on time. And then next week it got to, like, I was ready at 10 to 2.
But this is the problem, you see. You'll be ready, but everybody else won't be.
But then it's because their rooms weren't ready. There was, like, my uncle was getting, apparently, he only told me after, he was getting changed in the handicap toilets. Like,
so people are going to change the car park a lot.
I love the story is turning into, like, you know, like, whatever needs to be done just got done.
Yeah,
we got there. Yeah.
But I was dying to leave, and I was like, let me go, like, I need to go down, I want to be on time. There was still half our guests getting changed and coming in.
That's so like, myself and four bridesmaids standing as a wall in front of you going, no, you're not going.
One time I actually came down because one of the girls timed it, because I had said to Kira, I'm going to be on time, and she looked at her phone, it was 2:13. So again, the 13, but I was there.
Oh, I'm a bit freaked out now. Sorry, this is all a bit strange.
Everything happens for a reason.
But then the ceremony was gorgeous, it really was. And I think you really seemed to enjoy the ceremony. As you mentioned, you did your own vows, and you had that lovely string quartet, didn't you?
Yeah, they
were music.
Yeah.
It was really nice. But then at the end, so we were talking about this in a podcast recently, with the whole, to do a receiving line or not to do a receiving line, and you guys decided you just didn't want it. Or Darren was like, I didn't, Kacie wouldn't let me.
It was more of get cracking,
It
wasn't
was more kind of still COVID's around, we didn't really want
Yeah.
it. And you know what, we'd meet him anyway.
Yeah.
We know them.
You know their faces.
We know what.
Yeah.
What's my shade?
I don't know, I thought it would just be awkward, you know, standing there being like, oh, 15 minutes of this.
Yeah.
But going back, I think I would have done it now.
Okay, that's nice to say. Yeah.
Because now, with us, it was great because he said it gave us the extra 15 minutes. So I was like, oh, brilliant, like, that's great. But what I found is when we finished the photo shoot and went back into the Prosecco reception, because we hadn't seen people,
it was on you.
You kind of got that,
And, that was
and this is what we say to
relevant.
people, like Irish people have this thing where they have to congratulate you.
Yeah.
So we obviously, say,
Well, they see it
you
as
hang
rude if
about,
they don't. Yeah.
If you hang about like before you leave, they'll come find you, or when you come back, it kind of happens.
Yeah, because you had said, like, if you're not doing a receiving line, you need to leave the ceremony and go straight.
Oh yeah,
So
you can't stop moving because the line forms. But the two of you were really funny, because I remember, like, I said that to you, and I was like, you know, like, really, Kacie, you're not going to do it. You really just need to keep going forward. Like, run away. You can't, like, now, like with you two, running became a theme. Right on in the day, and literally you walked down the aisle, you got to the last row, and you galloped out that side door so fast that I was waving to Benny and the videographer, going, they're gone. Go.
They're already muckers.
What's so funny is, like, we hadn't seen the setup for the Prosecco reception. By the time we came back, like, all the food
Everything was
gone.
gone. I was livid.
We should have just taken, like, a few
Did
minutes.
they not keep us up to the side? Lads.
They were too busy
We
with
got
their
a
moms.
donut all the way.
We got a donut.
Not one single donut left.
You wanted for a rush.
I wanted for
And I
a
told
rush.
you I kept you a box, but they ate the box as well.
Okay, so we're going to go tip from now on, right? So if you're getting back to your reception, hide yourself a plate and a few spare donuts.
You don't do a receiving line. Take a few minutes to look at your Prosecco reception before you run
You
it.
turned upside down,
Because I remember, like, running past and going, cake's lovely.
Oh, stop. But yeah, because you didn't do that, and that, like, so not everybody does it anymore.
Yeah.
But, like, in fairness, you listened when I said to you, you have to keep moving forward. Like, you ploughed on, lads. You were in that car before I was in my car, to be fair to you. Kacie was like, we've got a plan. We're going. And then another thing we were talking about recently as well is, like, you know, family photos, right? And, like, what we say to people is, if you can do the family photos, you know, where the ceremony happened, do. because trying to get them to gather back up again. I remember having this conversation with you before, and I was like, right, lads, if they're coming to Mucker's house, which was like a 10-minute drive down the road, multiple cars going, parking and moving in, they cannot go to the drinks reception. Like, they have to walk through the drinks reception to leave. I was like, if they don't come, this is the frustrating part of the day. Every single person showed up.
That's because I had sent them like a threatening message after our conversation with you. Because after the Zoom with you were like, they have to be there now by, I think it was 3:15.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you're not there at 3:15, you're not getting photos.
But it's so easy not for one of them not to show.
It
To kind of half tell them, oh, yeah, we're going here for photographs.
But they were so good.
Like,
Like, they genuinely were so good.
Our family's great for photos,
Yeah, they were, in fairness. And we got it done, and it was a gorgeous location, and then they were able to go back, and they probably did see some of the donuts.
They did. But I think it helps that we also had the alcohol with us.
That is true, You brought the refreshments with you, in fairness.
To be fair, that was meant to stay in the car, that cooler that like one of the
Who
lads
brought
brought
the coolers in?
So we asked Mark Ahern to be our driver, so he basically my stepsister's husband.
Okay.
And he drove the two of us, but he took it so seriously, like I didn't realise till after he got license plates and everything made.
Did you not see the license plates?
No, because we ran into the car.
Tunnel vision. I'm getting my photo. It's happening. But no, they were so good.
But like I thought the cooler was going to stay in the car, and like, you know, when we went off for our few minutes alone, that the bridesmaids and groomsmen would go back and have a refreshment. And I turned around and here's Gary walking down with the big cooler in his hand. I was like,
the lads were thrilled though. They had like a bit of a refreshment in between the photos.
Yeah, like make sure someone's driving the bridesmaids and make sure someone's carrying the cooler.
Sorry, because we had all like our family again driving us because.
Well, there was no need to hire a car because no one would have seen it. Like you had the ceremony and you were only going 10 minutes down the road for photos to come back to the same place, and it wasn't a big arrival or it wasn't a long spin.
And I feel like with weddings, people are always like, can I have a job? Can I do something for you?
Oh,
and it gives those that aren't in the wedding party something to do.
And to be a driver on the day for you, like you actually get like private time with the actual groom. It's really, really nice.
He was delighted, actually,
he was delighted. Yeah, and he got to come in then to Muckers and actually what was going on, and like he was good fun. Like in fairness,
I just felt bad though because by the time he got back, like his wife was fairly full on it. He was like, no, I have to catch up. Sorry, Sarah.
But the God, I'm about to lose what I was going to say now. But yeah, no. So then in fairness, like what we might do is if you just send us a copy of that like threatening message,
and
then we can use as the template going forward. Please send this to family members going somewhere different. It works really, really well.
I think they were just afraid because I literally said like if you're not there at 3:15, you're not getting a photo, like a family photo. So I think they were just so afraid that they wouldn't have that opportunity again.
But you, Kacie, they probably were like, yeah, she means it.
Yeah,
like, she's not going to wait. But it was great in fairness. You didn't do the receiving line, which would be like perfect. When family all showed up, amazing. Yeah, and then lads, the photo shoot in Walker's Park, I don't think I've ever been so tired afterwards. Like, I actually think I might to buy a pair of running shoes. Just in case going forward.
What's the likelihood of
you running away?
Are we wearing boots? Are we wearing Asics? Like,
I think the poor videographer in the day, like in fairness, he was like, right, I'm gonna bring the gimbal. I'm gonna get some good shots, and like he had no idea the run we were going to cover at speed. I'd say his arms were like jelly by the end of it.
Yeah, sure. I remember like because he wouldn't have known us. We met him on one Zoom call.
Okay.
Our Zoom call when we had it, I think we spent the hour just laughing.
Yeah, so he knew what you were really much. Yeah, that like, we had been with you at other weddings. He'd been bridesmaids and groomsmen, and we'd like, where are you going, Darren? Stay over here.
He's taking the distance from the table, very serious.
I know.
He's like,
are you in the shot?
We had been bridesmaid and groomsmen at Sharon's wedding. You photographed that.
Yeah, true.
So that was our first meeting.
Yes.
And then we have been at Marie and Phil.
Yeah.
While you're there,
that's
actually.
evil now.
So this, before I forgot to actually mention it, the best thank you card. Like, I hope people can actually zoom in. Look at this. This is pictures of myself and Benny like taking selfies and running around on the day, bending over. There's a picture of me bending over.
You were amazing with my train in fairness to you, like.
So Marie and Phil, sorry, Kacie decided to put it over your picture. They're besties, it's fine. but yeah,
so like you had known what our personalities were.
Yeah.
You knew we were. Like,
I knew you were going to be high energy. Yeah. I was like, right, Laura, let's go.
This
is it. Yeah.
Poor Owen, I don't think he knew what he was getting into at all because do you remember when we were on our own and you were like, we took off.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it was like
I know when I'm saying running, you're probably thinking I'm using it as a metaphor or something. No, I actually mean like physically
Sprinting.
running around a
I
park.
remember you had us like looking at each other,
Yeah,
and he goes, "Wouldn't it be so funny if we just took off?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would." I was like, "On the count of 3." So I goes, "Laura," you went, "What?" And he goes, 1, 2, 3, and we just took off, and you were like, "Wait!"
It's a great photo though, the house in the background too. We just
God.
went up the view.
But Owen then got us to like redo it for the video. So
Yeah.
we were like, "Alright, grand," so we took off. And afterwards he came up and he goes, like, "Lads, I've seen people run and they like, do you know, glamorous
Yeah,
run."
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Graceful.
Graceful.
"What did you just do?"
Galloping, yeah.
Running like a life dependent on it. God.
Because we did the family and then we did a few bridal party, had a bit of fun. The lads had a couple of bottles of beers from the cooler that was brought in, so they had a bit of fun. And then we were like, you had asked, could we go all the way? And again, like, this is not something that people usually do on a wedding day, that they go all the way down to the
To
lake
the water.
Yeah.
without using a horse and cart or
Oh, but
something
where
to
I
get
had
there.
planned was like even further than that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm glad where we were going.
Yeah.
Because they were perfect, like, and it was a nicer area. But I was planning on walking 20 minutes.
No,
Oh,
no,
you
okay,
couldn't
okay,
do
no,
it.
okay,
Yeah.
come on, the bridesmaids.
we
had
could
to
have
get
ran.
there
It wouldn't have
too.
taken too long.
Yeah.
It's one of the pregnant ones that made me change
Well,
that.
you see, this is it, right? So we're leaving one area to go down to the lake, and just to kind of paint a picture for people, there's a beautiful house and there's walkways, and then there's grass, and at the start of the grass, there's quite a steep
2 or 3
like,
foot
verge
bank. Yeah.
that goes out into the flat part, down onto the lakes. Usually people, you know, are helped or they'll walk around the verge. Before I knew it, Kacie and 4 bridesmaids,
Hang on now.
2,
We were walking around.
were ye?
Who suggested going through the field?
The fields.
Like, as in the
Park.
park.
I don't know, was it me?
Yes, it was you.
But I didn't want you to run
Run
down
down
the
the bank.
bank.
Okay, you said, "Would you like
If
to
you-
walk down this way, or we can go this way?" And I was like, "Yeah, we'll go that way." And then that's when.
Yeah.
But it was
Thundering down the
suggestion.
bank. Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't my suggestion to take
Courtney
off.
is very
Like,
gentle,
to
like holding
literally
hands.
take
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Because it was like, there was one bank and you all kind of like ran down it, and I was like, oh God, don't do that again.
That's that
'cause
picture
was-
when you were like this because of my sister-in-law being pregnant.
Yeah, yeah, like literally in one, like bump pregnant.
Yeah.
And you're all flying down the bank, and the lads thought, sure, look, we'll join in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was 10 people around me.
There was a bit more
running
flailing
down
lads, wasn't there? Yeah.
Should be more arms and legs everywhere.
But like, there's a picture of yourself and your bridesmaids, and you're running away from the house, and people probably think when they see that, that's totally staged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
That's
no.
not, yeah.
No.
That's what I love
Yeah.
about it, because we didn't really want staged photos.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
we went with you guys, because you're phenomenal at catching, like crouching tiger, hidden belly. Like, do you know, you're phenomenal at catching those moments where you don't think anyone's photographing you. Do you know? So we wanted obviously the family stage photos, or the 1 or 2 where
Yeah.
we're looking at each other. But other than that, I was like, have free reign. Do
Yeah,
like, just
yeah,
catch us.
yeah.
So like that taking off, nobody planned that. I was like, yeah, we'll walk through, and I don't know who started it. I don't know whose head got into it, but we just
I think it
took
was
off.
yours, Kacie.
It's
more or less
Yeah,
solid giddiness.
Yeah. She's demented. My wife is demented.
together.
But it was just like, in general though, the energy of the photo shoot was just like, it was amazing, and you had a
Yeah.
great day for it, in fairness as well.
Yeah,
Like, we got
oh,
really lucky
so
with the
lucky.
weather. It was fabulous.
Yeah.
But for you to be able to actually move around though, like you were in a suit, a little bit easier,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
dress shoes, but
Yeah.
still. But like your wedding dress, when you were picking your wedding dress, did you like in any way think when you were picking it out, what can I move in?
Nope.
Uh,
Or did you just get lucky?
I don't know, I think I just got over it, do you know, because
Okay.
like I was quite restricted here.
Okay.
Yes.
And that for the
Because
first
you had a
dance.
dropped sleeve. Yeah.
So that for the first dance was a bit hard because
Okay.
I couldn't really raise my arms more
Mm.
than this. I didn't think of the bottom of the dress because I didn't think we'd be doing anything like that, to be fair.
Okay.
I thought
Go
we'd
to the
just,
grass.
yeah, so I thought we'd just be like, you know, posing, kissing, like
Yeah.
walking, posing.
Because I
Yeah.
was thinking on the day, thank God she's wearing the dress she's wearing. Now there was a train to your dress and everything,
Yeah.
but it was quite light.
Yeah.
And you were obviously able to move because you were physically running around the park. But I was thinking in my head going, did you pick the dress based on I can really move in this, or did you just be like, I'm gonna wear it, it's
No,
fine.
I'm just gonna wear it because I had
Yeah.
pre-COVID. I had a ball gown picked, like
Ah.
a full, like flouncy kind of
I can't
chiffon ball
imagine
gown.
you, I can't, that's amazing, I can't imagine it.
And when I
Yeah.
look back at it, I'm like, no, I was like a child playing dress up. Like it was not the dress. Oh, I actually looked like a little child playing dress up.
Okay.
And like I'm obsessed with Disney, so I thought that everybody would be like, yeah, that's what she's going to wear.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I chose that dress.
Yeah.
And then we started doing our first dance, and I was like, oh, this is quite restricting, but it's fine.
You did
It's
well.
fine. Just
No,
get
you
over
did
it.
well.
It's one
Yeah.
day. Like,
But it was something I will never ever forget. Like, like genuinely, I don't think I've ever done so many steps and I never burned so many calories on a wedding day. Jeez, it's going to be around
yeah, but
Waterworks
you were
Park.
well up for it too.
Ah, yeah.
Oh no! Like if you're going to do this,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
brilliant. Let's do it because it's not
Like,
very
that's
often.
it.
Yeah.
It's about reacting to the couple, or going with the
Yeah.
couple rather than us imposing our personality. And it's like if we were to go to another couple, lads, he's on a run and be great crack, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But it's the same way. It's like every week I don't do the jumping shot, but the lads, like I was
so
just kind of like
funny.
hanging out with the lads, and I was just like, these guys are going to eat this up.
Anchorman shot.
Of course we did Anchorman shots, yeah.
But-
And
but
if
it-
anybody wants to see these photos, go on Instagram. It's actually tagged to the top of
Yeah.
the feed. They're both there.
Oh, I
One of the
love
girls
it.
running and you do, because you
But the lads
nails
really, the
that
lads really
angle.
chill to it. Yeah.
And
There's
I
some-
remember you were over with me in the corner and we saw you doing it, and I was like,
Well, we could just see
That
like
is
bodies
good.
weren't there, and then
Yeah.
suddenly they'd appear. What are they
There was some
doing?
serious
It
jumping
would've
going on.
been they would have gotten the jump.
They would have
TikTok.
done better on TikTok.
Ah,
We'd have to do the day again.
They
Just
jumped
for
all the
TikTok.
time, and we could like that was our jumping photo. Would have been
You
like,
could be the TikTok trend now. Anchorman jump.
but that would actually be great.
Yeah.
But it's a really good example for people though, because everyone's different on their wedding
Yeah.
day. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you guys, you just stuck to who you were and you just had fun because you were a fun loving couple kind of thing. But not like, and if you're not the type of person that wants to run around, you
Yeah.
don't have to
Yeah,
run around.
yeah.
Like if you don't even want to step on the grass, you don't have to step on the grass.
And if you want to lose
whip
the head and
heels
give
off
out to
and
the
go for
hotel,
it.
go for it.
No, don't do that. But when we got back to the drinks reception as well afterwards, because you had your dog at the time, and I know you were like, oh, we'd love to have brought him with him, but you included him. How did you? I remember it was
Cake.
yes.
Was there a bit of a surprise on the cake, or did you both know that it was coming?
No, we knew.
We didn't know until we picked it up.
No, I surprised you.
Oh yeah, she's
Yeah.
Someone had
she
to order
knew.
it.
She knew. Someone did have to worry out. I think.
But
We got it off
snuck in a
Cat
little
Altman.
topper, wasn't there?
Yeah, so we got it off Cat Altman in Cove.
Oh,
Now,
wow, okay.
my she's amazing, phenomenal. Her cakes are just so nice, and she's so good to work with. Anything I came, and she was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Okay,
And then
cool.
she'd suggest ideas, so like she basically made the cake. But I would not suggest getting someone from Cove that can't drive when you're going to Killarney for your wedding, because we had to transport the cake.
Okay.
You transported your own cake.
How
Oh,
did
yeah.
that
And
go?
he's like, oh, it's fine. I'm in the car like,
Panic, yeah.
It was-
Nervousness, yeah. Stuff going, yeah.
Because they're
yeah.
not easy to know.
no, and it was like 3 tiers.
Oh, well, it's big
So,
cake.
yeah, no, that was
Absolutely fine. I know what you're about.
No, but that was a big stress.
I'd love to meet Darren. We'd actually stressed out about something because it's funny,
Never.
world ending.
Never.
Because, yeah. But it was really cute the way you had the dog on the cake, and that was
Yeah,
kind of the
it's
way
good.
that you
Yeah.
included it. It
So
was
he
really
was
nice
meant to be
detail.
separate. He was like a full on, you could eat him. Like he
Oh,
was an
right,
actual
okay.
cake. He was
Oh.
made of Rice Krispie cake and icing.
Very
Oh, I
good.
didn't realise. Oh, that's
But
fun.
you see, again, because everything happened in the morning, they put we had a cake topper on, but they moved the cake topper back and put Jabba on top of the cake.
Yeah.
Jab was the dog, just in case anyone. Yeah.
So when we came in from the Prosecco reception, everyone came mobbed over to me trying to be like, oh hi, and I was like, why is Jabba on the cake? Again, hotel flooded, but Jabba on the cake annoyed me.
And there was a flower on my father. My God, the taste were
Not the big things.
But yeah, everyone actually noticed him, which was great
Yeah.
because he was really cute. But
And-
then we left the Sunday and we were like
Okay.
halfway between Cork and Kerry, and I was like, we forgot Jabba.
Did you go back for Jab? I didn't know.
We were in no state to go back.
Okay, fair enough. But there was another little detail before I move on to like my favourite part of this conversation in a second, because we need to discuss this in length. In the banqueting room, so I've done loads of banqueting room, like detail shots and stuff. I'm strolling around and I'm like, oh yeah, what have I done on the tables? Either little Polaroids, like pictures of people where they were sitting, really cool. And then here's your seat and here's Darren's seat. It's a picture of you, the bride, and a picture of Darren, the groom, and what's next to them? 2 cans of Monster. And I was thinking, yeah, they're going to need that after the photo shoot. They're absolutely going to need these cans of Monster because the energy level out of the 2 of me was ridiculous.
And those cans of Monsters saved us. Like it saved me definitely.
Say they did,
Yeah.
Kacie, to be honest. But yeah, no, it was great. Drinks reception was lovely. Went into the room. You made an epic entrance. There was a bit of dancing going in. In fairness,
But
yeah.
it's funny because again, like just little things go wrong in the day, and it's just don't pay attention to them.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
you'll think of them after, but like nobody notices because when I say this to people, they're like, really? and be like, it doesn't impact your day.
You're going to tell me now something like that.
But it comes and goes. If something happens,
I know exactly what she's on about.
Because I find it so funny. So like we had 4 groomsmen, 4 bridesmaids, and I had said to them all, we're going to play Reet Petite, and we're going to have them play it when you're coming into the room, so dance in, like have a bit of crack with it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want them walking
Because they
in
are
like,
fun-loving, that wedding party.
Yeah,
they
we
were.
didn't want it awkward, because a lot of them are very like, I don't like the limelight, so we didn't want them to feel awkward walking in just to sign
Just
a
to
Catholic.
walk. Okay,
So we were like, dance in. So the first out was our maid of honour and best man, and they're both the shyest people you will meet, like, and they danced out. And there was no music.
Oh,
They
no!
never played the music from.
I don't remember
That's
that.
him in. He's just like, no music.
Probably in their heads singing the song because I knew what it was going to be, yeah.
And they did like a turn and everything in the middle of the floor.
Brilliant.
And then they got down and I was outside and I was like, there's no music playing. They were dancing. So then the rest of them just walked in because they had realised there's no music playing.
I was so concentrating on trying to get the photos of them coming in. I didn't even,
But see, you wouldn't have if you're in the crowd because everyone was
It was
catching.
back.
We were in the hallway so we could hear it. And then they played it when we came in, so at least we got to dance in.
Yeah,
So-
we did.
But I couldn't stop laughing because afterwards she said it to me, she's like, there was no music. And we
That's it,
danced
yeah.
in.
So people just thought they're mad lads.
They were like, that's a really neat thing to do. Don't do that to me ever again. Yeah. But then the speeches. So the speeches in general, they were brilliant. Like I remember your best man.
I would listen to it again.
It was so funny because talking to him all day, he was actually good. I didn't know him. He was good fun, but I didn't expect the level of comedy to come out of him that came out of the speech.
He's not in your face, like like you say, he's shy, but actually he's bold and he's good fun. And it's like when you know him, like type thing.
Like
he's been asking to see the video.
I'd say it once because everybody was absolutely like there was tears running down people's faces around me, like it was absolutely hilarious. I think at one stage he actually had a piece of toast. Like to raise a toast, and he raised a piece of toast. It was very, very funny.
Like anytime we went out with him and his girlfriend, he'd tell us parts of the speech.
He'd start getting drunk and he'd like, can I tell you one part? No, I want to hear a full thing in full on my wedding day. I'll tell you this little part.
But he had let that slip one day, and I said to him like, if you don't do that, because I was crying laughing, and I was like, if you don't raise a piece of toast for us, I'll fire you. Like you're gone out of the hall.
But
and
it's
it was a lovely brown piece of toast.
But it's such a cheesy
The
thing
great
to
thing
do.
is he goes into the manager is like, listen, I'm your best man. I need a slice of toast.
So he didn't bring toast with him.
He asked,
He wanted fresh toast.
She's like, are you hungry? No one asked for the speech. She just stared at him. I get you.
She's like, there's water running down the wall. There's no power, but you need a piece of toast. I want it.
She still got it for him.
But it's such a dad joke or so cheesy that you would think that you're going to see this at every second wedding, but you don't.
No, you don't.
That's the only time I've ever seen it, and it went down. He delivered
So
it.
simple.
It was brilliant.
But it's like in the video, it's like, you know, he's saying it, and he's like, I'd like to raise a toast, and everyone's like, and next time he raises this, you see it dawning on people's faces.
And it was so funny. You were buckled over, like you were crying at that point. You were the same.
So
And I think like it was really, really good. And then the surprise happened. happened. Do you
How was
remember,
the
Darren?
prep for that? Like, how much prep did you do? Like,
So
must have been tough.
shout out to Deirdre O'Kelly on this one because she's my piano
Big
teacher.
time, yeah.
So she helped me. Like, there's the song I did was Tenacious D, and the song actually doesn't have a piano version. So she literally made the song from
Very
ear, from
Brilliant.
guitar to piano.
Brilliant.
And then simplified it for me and made it easy for me. Because
do you
best I
play
could do
the
is-
piano before this? Or
Oh
was
yeah,
this-
I've
you
been
played piano before
trying
this?
to learn for the last couple of years.
Okay,
Best I
okay.
can do is hot cross buns at the moment.
And are you a singer?
We all know we're not. I'm not.
See, he tried to surprise me with this in total because you started learning just before in 2019.
Yeah.
And I had left work early and came home and saw him on the couch with a
I was
keyboard.
trying to keep it completely quiet.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, I came in and I was like, why are you playing the keyboard? So then like, that went on and everyone was like, oh, maybe he's going to like play something at your wedding. I was like, no, he's not. So I had no idea.
Were you
I
in
thought
danger
he
that
was-
he's going to do the vows like in the middle of his ceremony? He killed the vibe.
I genuinely thought, like, because people were saying, like, oh, maybe he'll do it as you come down the aisle. I'm like, thank God he didn't.
Yeah, God.
But it was brilliant because you did a speech, like you had planned.
Yeah.
And then it was like this, but it was the real cheeky look on your face, Darren, I must say. Like I was just, because we knew it was going to happen,
I knew
and
it.
I was so entertained because you knew it was coming, and then you literally just looked at Kacie and was like,
it's happening.
and just walked off. Like said
Yeah.
nothing and just walked off.
It's either I was going to be killed or I was going off with it.
But it was the table, like the keyboard's on an empty stage, but it's covered in a tablecloth, so nobody notices. So he gets up on the stage, lifts the tablecloth
You're
off,
Paul Daniels.
reveals the keyboard, and sits down, both hands on the keyboard, just staring at everybody as if like, you're not even ready for this, lads. You're not ready.
He's like, sing something so lovely and romantic. It is lovely and romantic. It's probably your most romantic song I know.
Oh man. But the song choice, like, how did you get to the song
It
choice?
split the room though. It really
It's
did.
so funny.
Because half the room didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Half the room gradually realised and cheered.
That's a generation
Yeah.
thing.
But it was like it was in thirds because like my mum and dad's generation were
Yes.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
And why is
And
it
then
still going on?
Half of our friends were like, this is the best thing ever, and the other half of our friends were like, she's
Horrified.
horrified.
Yeah. But it was when like you would barely start, so I think you had like done maybe 2 like chords.
Yeah.
No, he hadn't.
And
He had
you
said,
knew.
Yeah.
no, he had.
Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, I started off
Oh,
speaking.
right.
When I saw him walk up, in my head I was like, okay, his latest party trick at like Marie's wedding and everything was singing Billy Joel Piano Man.
Okay.
So I was like, he started walking off. I saw the keyboard and I was like, oh, he's going to play Piano Man. He's going to play Piano Man because you do know how to play it. You play it a lot. So I was like, oh wow, okay. And then he said,
Something about a favourite
this
band,
is
wasn't it?
a song about love. And
Yes.
it's by one of my favourite bands.
That's
and
it.
that's when I went, I heard him play. You
She
Gently.
caught
And I
him.
went,
But it was brilliant.
Very
Your
funny.
reaction was absolutely
Yeah,
hilarious because
yeah.
everyone's just sitting there like a little bit confused as to what's going on, and out of nowhere you just shot up out of your seat. I was just like the most encouraging new wife there ever was. Like, do it, Darren, do it. But that probably helped you.
Definitely. I was like, oh, she's cool with it.
Because the song, like, it's kind of like, so Tenacious D, and we'll put it in the notes. We won't say it. We'll have to read the notes to see what song it was. But it was like something gently, yeah. It was a very gentle song.
Love her gently.
It was lovely. Love her gently, yeah.
In a very gentle way, in a very appropriate way.
Because we knew you were singing a song.
Yeah.
We didn't know you were singing that song either. And when you started,
She
I was
did.
there
don't
in my
think
head
you know
going.
specifically what song
You
it
tell us
was.
the song it
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So when you started singing, I was like, oh my holy, he's not going to sing this
And then
song.
we were driving home and I realised that cheeky little fecker, he played Tenacious D the morning of.
Did you?
Because the lads just had like Spotify on a TV and then you kind of like abruptly kind of changed the song and I was like, and I went back and I was like,
And we're like, I love
But it was brilliant because it was like by the time the first chorus came around, as you said, like the room's pretty straight. You had
Yeah.
like groups of
An
people
encore, yeah.
standing arm in arm, and they're screaming out the lyrics with you, which was brilliant. You're going mental in the corner, and I think the bridesmaids are just like, my God. But it was the ultra crowd. Their reaction, like there was a few people when you got to the chorus, and their faces were like, I cannot believe
it's the
that
end.
he is
I
singing.
think like a lot of them didn't hear it, but it's the end, you know, and it goes, I wanna.
Yeah.
Like it's loud and it
Yes,
goes on.
that's
I think
right.
that's when they went, did he just say that?
Yeah.
Oh, my daughter.
Yeah.
Well, the funniest thing
But
is,
did
like,
you speak to Casey's dad then, kind of like at the end, or was it like you kind of like you were like you finished it, you stood up and said something at the end to finish? I can't remember what you said.
Yeah.
Do you probably you were probably in a
Yeah.
way of yourself?
A wise man once said,
Never to ask for forgiveness. Better ask permission or forgiveness.
I think you said yeah.
forgiveness
Yeah.
rather than permission.
It was brilliant, but it was a
yeah,
brilliant
yeah.
way to
Yeah.
finish it because it was such a brave thing to do. And I'm like,
Yeah,
hats
yeah.
off to you, Darren, because it was brilliant.
That's good
But to
crack.
stand up and like talk to the room at the end
Yeah.
and say that.
And it
was
kind of
better to
says
ask
that
for
over
forgiveness rather than-
generation we know you don't get this and it might not be appropriate,
Yeah.
but we're just having a bit of crack.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of
exactly.
explained to all those people who were like, what's that? And it was like, he wasn't serious and he didn't really like mean the song in a certain
Yeah.
way. He was having fun.
Yeah.
Do you know, like it's just a joke.
I just thought it was hilarious when you said that, like, because of advice my dad gave me, you like roped him into it, because I was like, now
Because
he
you
can't
did
be ours.
mention Casey's
You
dad.
mentioned
didn't
it,
you?
yeah.
You were like,
It was,
yeah. You
A wise
literally.
man once said,
Yeah.
better ask for
Yeah.
forgiveness and permission. That
Brave
wise
man,
was
Darren.
really-
Brave man. Yeah. To speak
it was-
directly to the bridesmaid after singing that song to her.
Everyone was staring at me. I just remember my piano teacher, because she was there as a good friend, and she was just like, "Oh, this is going to go horrible." She was a mess.
we met her at a few
You sure you're going to do
weddings
this? You sure you're going to do this?
But I'm fair dues to you, because I mean, the day there was so much going on, and then like people get nervous about just even doing a simple, like, you know, relaying a speech that you've written already. But to do that to the room, Darren, you're a hero, that's all I have to say.
It is
Like,
nerve-wracking.
There was no microphone stand.
Yeah,
So he put on the
I asked her to bring it.
That's right, yeah.
I know, I was going around looking for it before.
Thank you.
She was like, I remember I went up to her and I was like, the microphone sound, and her face
panicked.
went,
Yeah,
like literally, I don't have it. Yeah.
It was my brother went up and was like,
Yeah.
here.
Holding it.
Because I don't know the words, so I'll hold it.
But your brother's
But
face
then-
in the photographs is hilarious because he's beaming with a big smile.
I didn't realise the song either. And then he said, when he was up there at one stage, he said, I shouldn't really be holding it when he's singing this to my sister.
Yeah, I didn't realise that.
That's
It
gas.
was absolutely nice. But like, so as you can tell from like talking through the day was like, when I say high energy, it doesn't even get there. It doesn't even get close to the way it was.
Yeah.
And when you think it can't get any better, so the first dance, and I always ask people, I'm like, you know, are you doing band? Will you do a first dance? Do you do a little bit of choreography? Like, is there anything planned? You went full out choreography. But you had done like a competition, a dancing competition, and you won it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. What was it? It was the Strictly
Cove dance.
Yeah. So like you were kind of in the dancing, and then Darren, in fairness
I
to
got
you,
roped in.
you did.
But you can see he's not afraid to perform.
No, he's not.
Oh, you love to dance. Just give me a couple of points before.
But no, but you did really well, because it, like when I say choreographed, like it wasn't just like a few steps and a couple of spins.
Yeah.
This was full on lifts and like swinging
Oh,
around.
Yeah, I got dragged to rehearsals. I was good laughed on.
It was brilliant, and the whole crowd was just like, I think they probably expected something special from me because you had won the competition.
Yeah.
But
So I
it
didn't
was-
want to just stand there and be like this.
Yeah.
Because I was like, having done Strictly and danced with glitz, I was like, people are going to be like, what's she doing?
Yeah.
Come on. And
Yeah.
it felt like they'd be waiting and be like, you're going to do something.
Yeah.
So we were like, alright, fine. So we got on to Julie, who does glitz, who's like the choreographer.
Cool.
And we were like, okay, here's the song. Can we just have something simple? Because she loves her waltzing and I can't waltz.
Yeah.
So I was like, don't make us waltz, please. So then she was like, okay, can he lift you? And I was like, oh God. And we'll see.
You did, in fairness.
But we did like, what, 4 rehearsals with her?
4 or 5.
So it was, because it was really good, lads, in fairness.
Well, it was actually, like, I definitely recommend it. Because I
Yeah, I was going to say like to people like, so you wouldn't be a mad dancer though. Like, so if someone's really good at dancing and someone's kind of like not dancing a night out or something like that, but like to encourage people, it's like it's doable.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
definitely.
And
because
it looks really great, but
Yeah.
it is doable. Like you're saying, took 3, 4, 5 lessons.
4 lessons.
Don't need to be the best at it. Like you will pick it up.
Yeah.
You will learn.
Yeah.
It wasn't like,
Yeah.
you know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Like, it wasn't
You're not
a
trying to-
proper choreographed thing. Like, it was like simple steps and a few lifts and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's a very American thing, like, oh, we're going to get dance lessons.
Yeah.
But like, when we got to go and rehearse together, we had a laugh together.
Yeah.
You know, like,
cool.
Just messing with Julie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she tried to rope him in. But
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
really?
we had fun together, but just had that time in the run up to the wedding to kind of like rehearse and like just enjoy dancing with each other. And then like, you know, you drive to and from and you'd be chatting about that and the wedding, and it was just lovely.
It's all part
Yeah.
of it, like.
Yeah.
That's what you say there. It's like you're not trying to get a perfect dance. You're trying to just learn a few moves.
Exactly.
And it's like even if you don't get the steps right, but you go, all right, we're doing that move.
Yeah.
Because I remember one of the dances we saw, like it was during COVID, but like the lads were just having a laugh, and then like say when the bride like threw out a dance, he was just like, all right, we're doing this dance now, this move now, and it was just going from move to move. But they had so much fun
Yeah.
in that kind of 60 seconds of just doing a move. So
That's
it's like
it.
whatever you do in between. But if you've just got a few tricks and go for a spin, like brilliant.
It's like only us and Julie would have known if we went wrong.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And like, even if you do go wrong, you're doing it in front of your
Yeah.
friends. So like, we weren't nervous for that. Well, after your keyboard, you don't get nervous.
That was the main thing.
Everything was easy after that.
But like, I was nervous doing Strictly, and anytime I go dancing in front of people, I get nervous.
Yeah.
But with this, I didn't, because it was all our friends and family. If
Yeah.
we go wrong, you can laugh it off with them. Do you
Yeah.
know? They don't care. They're not like, oh, she did that move wrong.
Yeah.
They're like, that was entertaining.
But I think when you're wearing
Yeah.
a wedding dress and a suit and you're on a stage and you're in a wedding atmosphere as well,
Yeah.
like, and we even say to people, it doesn't, like, you know, if you're really nervous for the first dance, you don't have to be lifted around the place like he did.
Yeah.
But a simple thing like if you do a little spin, the fact that you're wearing a white wedding
Yeah,
dress
it looks amazing.
and you're smiling,
Yeah.
it looks epic kind of
It
thing.
does, yeah.
But then you bring it to the level you brought it to, and it really did look like.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the video back. I'd say it looks amazing. We'll sit down and watch it some night.
No,
Yeah, there we go.
But people really do, they just expect the waddle.
Yeah.
And like if you do anything beyond the waddle, like people are going to be like, yeah, go on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's good for photos, like if you've got like 1 or 2 poses.
That's right.
You know, it's
Yeah,
handy.
yeah.
Or your foot coming at my camera.
That was it.
I was like, hold tough, Laura, she won't kick you, you're fine. You were that close to the camera. I didn't realise you were going to swing out so much. And I was like,
That's one piece of advice I give people. Please warn your photographers and
If
videographers.
there's
Give
something-
me no warning.
Well, we knew that you were like, it was kind of like where to be, so
Yeah.
that it would work for certain moves kind of thing, because you told us it was kind of like a bit choreographed, and this, if you stay here, it'll look well, but I didn't realise that it was going to be so dramatic, the moves kind of thing, but it was worth it for the photos.
Because he does a part where he walks backwards. Oh no, he walks forwards and then he turns.
Yeah.
And I remember like in the video I'm like, because
Get out of the
see
way.
you bent down, I was like, I'm gonna kick her in the face. So I was like, so he stepped a few forward and then he picked me up and went.
Thank
and, like,
you.
I remember you guys
Wow.
were like that close to your face, and I was like, oh, I hope she's okay.
But that photo is amazing though, because like literally your foot is like literally like
Staring at each other.
centimetres from the lens, but you were still smiling, so that's the main thing.
Keep the smile on and just get through it.
Cool.
But guys, if you were to like give
Or is there
one
anything
piece,
that we didn't see? I know
Yeah.
she's going to say what she's going to say, but like, was there anything that we don't get to see? It's like the band are hopping and we're kind of like, we have to drag ourselves away from the wedding. We can't stay on and have the party.
well, you were really
Like-
trying to get us to stay.
Yeah.
And I was that close going to Benny going,
Will we?
I know we've got a wedding tomorrow, right? But
But between the band, the DJ, did you have a second day? Was like things that we didn't get to see? Was it good crack, good
Second
fun?
day was just wild. You missed the second day.
really,
Just wild.
how could it get more wild than the wedding day?
Don't know.
Oh,
Everyone went hatchet, just went at it.
So like the second day we had, I think 93 people said they were staying, but it ended up being like 60 something.
Okay, that's
So-
not a lot of people.
That's a lot.
No, it is. But they had us in the ballroom with a full buffet, and I had said to Megan, I was like, this is too big, because
Okay.
if you have it in there, we would have been sat around tables talking, nobody would have gotten on the dance floor, it was very big.
Atmosphere would have been
Yeah.
there.
So do you know where we walked through like the big marquee and into the smaller bar?
Yeah.
We over that bar, and
Oh,
they
perfect.
supplied a DJ.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
So we had the buffet, and then we moved everyone into the pub, and they just went crazy. Like, but again, the Glitz gang were there, so like they're
Okay.
all dancers. We have our warm ups, we have our dances that we all know. And as soon as the DJ like kicked off and they started drinking, like we just took over the dance floor. But then he was up learning the dances. Gary was up learning the dances. Like the dance floor didn't stop for the night. Like they even had the
Has he
DJ
must
like,
have been wrecked.
play 5 or 6.
No wonder you left Jabba behind.
And all the kids.
You know, but at one stage, I remember, probably shouldn't be saying this, but
Oh, go on, please
the
do.
service was a bit slow, right?
Oh God, no, don't say something I don't know.
But
There was a flood and then they just wouldn't serve us more pints because we were just so rowdy.
They were fantastic hotel, they really were. But they were doing cocktails because everyone wanted a cocktail.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
So
tough
I
when
knew
you
that I
cocktails,
had
yeah.
an open bottle of champagne upstairs. So I started chugging a bottle of champagne. I thought I went to bed at 11:30.
Right, what time do you go to bed, Casey?
Oh, you had to bring her to bed.
At 7:30.
Half 3.
Half 3?
After in the morning.
So-
Well, at least it wasn't the opposite way around.
Those cans of Monster must have kept you going
Yeah,
all the way
yeah.
through the weekend.
Oh, he's living, I wanted to stay up.
We did stay up because the DJ had stopped. They wouldn't play any more music for us, and they basically said like you're done, like you're too mad to go home. Because our bridal suite again had no power for the whole weekend, and they'd given us a
Because
different
I wasn't actually going to mention it, but that was so funny in the bridal suite in the morning. So like we had one window, right, and the window was lighting the space, but the bathroom was up the back, and there was no window to the bathroom. So anyone going to the bathroom was going in and having to leave the crack open.
Oh,
So they
no
let
way.
in. And like people were just like talking really loudly in the background, so like we didn't know the person was being. But like it was just, it was constant. It was just.
Oh, so
But I don't think I've ever laughed so hard,
No,
like
it's very
all
good.
day long. Like my voice was pretty much like gone on the way home. Like I was buzzing on the way home. I don't know how you felt.
Oh, it's
But it just
brilliant.
sounds like in general it was
It
amazing.
was, and like they gave us, like the hotel again were so accommodating. They
Yeah.
gave us a different key, and they were like, "Here's a different room altogether, with power, with everything." But we were just like, "But the bridal suite's nice, and all our
Yeah.
stuff is there, and we're not leaving the party to move
You
our
don't
stuff."
need lights.
Yeah.
So when we went to bed the first night, I think it was 5:30 in the morning. We went to bed,
Wow.
and it was.
Did she laugh something 5:30?
That's incredible, yeah.
He missed the Haka. One of the lads did a Haka for us and everything. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Haka.
A New
Guess we're
Zealand
just
person,
mad.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He's tiny, he's from New Zealand.
Well, yes, it's New Zealand heritage.
Oh, he's New Zealand
Yeah.
heritage. and he
Yeah,
did the
yeah,
Haka.
yeah.
Okay.
He wasn't just from the back of the island, he just likes it.
He's from Cove though.
He's from
My
Cove,
dad forced him to do it, and he was like, "I'm not doing it." That's a fertility dance. I'm not doing that to your daughter.
Do it!
Okay, there's a weird
Oh, that's
going
very
on
funny.
there between your
Tenacious
song
D
and the
fertility Haka.
That's so funny though, I swear.
Oh,
But
lads.
we went to bed like at 5:30, so it was broad daylight when he was unhooking my dress and stuff, so we didn't need the light. And then we went to bed the second night.
Casey, careful now.
Careful now, yeah.
You don't need to know any more.
Slept.
100% PG. We went straight to
I don't need to know. We're going to have
We'll
some
have to do that.
censorship on this
We'll have to do a
podcast.
survey for every guest now that comes in. And how was the consummation?
This
did
happened. Why ruin it?
You can answer your question now, Laura, to wrap up. Wrap it up, Laura.
There'll be a lot of editing in this one, anyway. A lot of editing.
Oh no, there's no editing. It's just like,
Oh, it's fine. It's already on the internet.
what I was going to say was,
Yeah.
it's probably completely irrelevant now. It makes no sense.
No,
But if
we've
you
got
were
our
to, like,
hashtag fertility Haka.
So I'm actually going to be doing my song. I'm actually going to cry. Oh, okay. If you were to give one bit of advice to somebody getting married, what would it be?
don't let anything bother you.
Brilliant,
Like,
yeah.
because that flood could have ruined the whole day.
Yeah,
And
big time,
like if I was being normal, like on a normal day, it would have ruined the day, and I would have been freaking if everything wasn't going to plan.
Yeah.
Whatever came over me that day, I was like, I don't care. Once I can marry him and we can do it and have fun, I don't care.
Brilliant.
Okay, so just don't let anything affect you.
It's a brilliant attitude to have though, because it's
Yeah.
easy to say that,
Mm.
and it's a completely different thing to go through with in the moment.
I think it
Yeah.
depends on the person, yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
You know,
But I must say, when you were doing the speeches, other than the singing part of the speeches, when you thanked the venue, like you were so nice. I remember when you thanked the venue, and you were like pretty much saying, like, you've had a really tough day, lads,
Yeah.
and I hope you're all right. And I was thinking, these two,
Yeah.
these two, like the hotel is actually wet, and hasn't got power part of
Can
it.
you imagine
But they were
the
checking
panic
on the hotel.
going on like
Horrible for
backstage?
them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the panic, like they had to flip our room, get it, like get ready for the ceremony. Because the
Yeah.
ceremony, when it happened, they didn't even have the ceremony room done because they didn't think it was happening.
Yeah, they weren't sure, yeah.
So they
big
had to
time.
like get all that ready, then flip it, have all our little details that we wanted ready, and then keep everyone happy. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And then there's a great bit of advice, just not let
Just don't let it.
the big or the little things get you. Enjoy the wedding day. How about you, Darren?
yeah, just enjoy it. Stuff will happen.
Yeah.
Just brush it off.
That's
know,
right,
so,
yeah.
like,
Brush it off.
It's,
Get the
it's
keyboard
going to
out.
happen either way.
Yeah.
Why get odd over
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Enjoy it. It's good. It's a great day.
Yeah.
And like that, it's
meant
only
to
going to be the two of you that are going to be like, that went wrong, that didn't happen.
That's right, yeah.
Bar the flood, like everyone obviously knew about
Yeah,
that, but like the music. I'm the only one who knows
Yeah,
that. He
yeah.
didn't even
I
notice
didn't
it.
know.
But it's still a funny moment,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
whereas you
exactly.
can throw a strap and go, oh no, the music isn't playing, why aren't you playing the music? And instead it's like, look at them dancing. So it's,
I still mock my buddy already. Remember we were dancing to no music. You look like an idiot.
brilliant.
Thank you so much for the giggles, because you made my day, and I think we need to, if you're ever doing a vow renewal, you're not to do without us.
Oh.
You are not to do without us.
I
What,
wanna see
John,
you
one bit of
2024
advice. The one bit of advice I give: hire our many.
Yes,
Oh,
100%.
plug in the end.
It's like you're great photographers, but not only that, like just the laugh you have with you.
Brilliant.
You wouldn't have that, like we've
No.
been to weddings with photographers and they're just go over there, go there. he just free reign, do what you want. We'll get the photos. We'll get them. Don't
Even
worry.
at that though, like you were a brilliant timekeeper. You were like, okay, Casey, you've got 10 minutes left.
Stop running around the field.
Come back, Casey, come back. Where are we seeing you in 2024?
My cousin Meg's wedding, so my maid of honour is getting married in 2020.
Am I doing
October
that? Oh really?
In me?
People do this, right? They send me inquiries
Yeah.
and they book, right? But they don't
You
tell
don't
me,
know.
There's a
like, hi, I spent the day with you before.
Yeah.
Do you remember me?
Oh,
I was the
yeah.
one running around Muckers Park at Casey's
She
wedding
was the one
day.
who was pregnant and nobody knew. Bar
Psych
herself and
So we're doing
like,
Megan's wedding day.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
doing
Brilliant.
Mead, I think. Mead, is it?
I think it's Mead, yeah.
Brilliant.
For not knowing, but-
There you go now.
Excellent.
So you're stuck with us again, lads?
Aw, I'll bring the monster.
She's even like a bigger
She's worse.
monster.
Yeah, Megan's worse.
Genuinely. So like her wedding day will be complete monster.
Oh, guys,
Yeah.
thanks so much for coming in.
That was great.
Thanks for having us. That's the most inappropriate podcast ever.
I better start listening to the podcast now.